The Chicago Bulls continue to struggle as we all expect them to struggle in a loss against the Orlando Magic, a game in which the Bulls never really had a grasp in, never really were truly in the game. Had a nice stretch at one point in time where it looked like they could get back into it, but that was quickly taken away. We're going to talk about it, break it all down as we always do right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, in a game where the Chicago Bulls shoot the ball 50% from the field as a team, on top of that, they have 21 turnovers. They go 6 of 20 from the three-point line. This was the most Bulls loss of all Bulls losses. It just, in the season content, at this point, I don't expect, or let me not say that. I'm not surprised by any type of struggle by the Chicago Bulls. Just not. This team came out lethargic. They came out of sync. They came out playing like absolute dog donkey shit to just at the start of the game. And it was kind of, that was all brought together just by how the game ended. This was an ugly game. And there's no way or rhyme around that. Then the Bulls played like shit tonight. They play like absolute shit tonight. And you can't take away from that. DeMar DeRozan, tried to do his best DeMar DeRozan performance in the fourth quarter of the game. And it wasn't enough. 14 points to DeMar DeRozan scoring the game, going 6 of 8 from the field, getting to the free throw line 3 times, hitting 2 of those. But that wasn't even enough. The Orlando Magic in this game dominated just about every facet of the game. They out-rebounded the Chicago Bulls. They had more points off turnovers than the Chicago Bulls. They had more second-chance points than the Chicago Bulls. They had more fast break points than the Chicago Bulls. They had more bench points than the Chicago. What did the Bulls do well, you may ask? Well, they showed up, I guess. Yeah. And it's not like the Orlando Magic had 98 possessions in this game. The Chicago Bulls had 97 possessions. So they had more than enough opportunity to be in this game. They just did not play well enough defensively. They couldn't limit the turnovers to save their damn life. You had 11 more turnovers than the Orlando Magic in this game. That is the shit that we be talking about with this team. That just is it. When you talk about a struggle team, when you talk about a poverty-ass team, that's what this team has been. And this loss was bringing all that together. Nikola Vucevic is old, and he just needs to stop. At this point, I don't even know what to say about Nikola Vucevic anymore. The fact of the matter is, and, I had a voicemail on today's mailbag episode where somebody asked, well, the Bulls could go guard again in the draft. And here's what I'm going to tell you guys on that. If the Bulls, after seeing the decline that Vooch has had, go guard in this draft, and unless it's if Terrence Shannon Jr. falls, he's more of a wing than a guard anyway. Okay, maybe, right? But if you completely, unless you just are they're trying to tell us something about Adama Sanogo, you gotta draft a big in this draft. There are a lot of quality upside bigs in this draft. Vooch is cooked. Vooch is more than barbecue chicken. Vooch is if you take barbecue chicken, shove it up Oprah's ass, pull it out Oprah's ass, barbecue it again, so now it's twice barbecued, bury it, dig it up 5 days later, put it back on the grill, and shove it up Lizzo's ass. That's what Nikola Vucevic is right now, especially as a defender. It's shitty, it's cooked, and it's black as a motherfucker because it's dead. That's what it is. Like, that Nikola Vucevic is done. He's cooked. I'm sorry. Yes, he can still score well for you a couple of games. Don't get me wrong. Is he dead out there? Is he DOA? No. He's not Udonis Haslem out there. But it's just Vooch doesn't offer much upside anymore for the Chicago Bulls. You got to start preparing for life without Nikola Vucevic because it's not just him. I'm not blaming it all on Nikola Vucevic because Andre Drummond honestly didn't do that much better out there at all tonight. So you can't use that whole we should have played because they played Drummond down the stretch of the game and Drummond defensively looked like shit as well. I'm sorry. I know Drum is a better defender than Nikola Vucevic, but the highly athletic power forwards and centers, he's about as bad as Vucho, and he's barbecue chicken as well. It's done. So the Bulls got to start looking at some different routes there. On top of that, Billy Donovan, this is one of those games where you look at Billy Donovan's coaching and you literally have to look at it and say, how the fuck? Like, what? Did you not see what we were all seeing? Did you just feel like not making adjustments today? But you know what? Billy Donovan is also, everybody's ready for the offseason. Bulls fans are ready for the offseason. Apparently the Bulls players are ready for the offseason. I'm sure DeMar DeRozan got an appointment with side chick baby mama number 6 somewhere coming up down the road. Kobe White got to get his hair deep conditioned. I'm sure that's the only 2 players that felt like they cared at any point tonight were Ayo Dosunmu and Javonte Green. Everybody else is like, well, in the fourth quarter, DeMar DeRozan too. Other than that, it's like everybody was just like, it's like we bothered you. Did we go bother them? Were they out in Orlando getting some fucking tiki bars in or something? And we bothered them to come play basketball? Because that's what it felt like tonight. It literally felt like the Bulls showed up like, hey, I gotta play this bullshit ass game. Like they showed up for a fucking root canal. Like what are we talking about here, bro? Like what are we doing? Stop treating us like we the goddamn ugly stepchild you gotta show up for once a week so courts won't fucking tell you you're a piece of shit. What are we doing? Don't be like Drake. Don't do that. Like what are we talking about, fam? Like this game was so impeccably frustrating because it just seemed like they did not want to be out there. Like they were ready for the NBA season to be over with too. And that goes back to the thing that we've been saying for so long. If you ain't got no goddamn heart, if you don't care, if you don't give a shit about playing with the Chicago Bulls or playing in the NBA, get out, bro. Like this team absolutely shit the bed tonight and looked like a team that just did not give a flying fuck. That's what this felt like today. And it sucks. It sucks when it's like that, man. To just continually seeing this team perform in the manner in which that it has in games like this is utterly disgusting. And don't get me wrong. Every team is going to have flat performances. I get that. I understand it. This isn't nothing that every team in the NBA is going to go through at least 8 to 10 times a season. Every team has 8 to 10 times a season that they show up and they play like this. Every single team. Even, yes, the 72 and 10 Chicago Bulls, it just happens they only lost 10 of those games. But listen, it just ultimately, this team the front office has operated with this team and this players have operated like they've accomplished something. You get to take a night off when you've accomplished something. Joe Ingles looked like he wanted it more than the Chicago Bulls today. Joe Ingles literally looks like Al Bundy. That's what Joe Ingles looks like. You let Al Bundy get off the court and outplay you tonight, and you smiled about it. That's the thing that pisses me off, too, as a Chicago Bulls fan. Why the fuck don't we give a damn about law? Why am I upset? The players clearly don't give a shit. Billy Donovan's over there chewing his goddamn gum. AK's probably somewhere talking to Mark Eversley, this guy who gossiping like goddamn bitches. Who the fuck knows? Nobody gives a shit. And that's why Bulls fans are so frustrated by the organization, because we are building a culture that is fine with mediocrity. Gar Forman and John Paxson, eventually it led to a culture where they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing. But you are 4 years into this, my boy. How in 4 years you already have built a culture of mediocrity? You got to look at yourself at that point in time and wonder, what are you doing here? Because that competitiveness shit, that don't mean nothing. Continuity, we tired of it. Y'all are some cunts. That's the C word that we need to use for the Chicago Bulls front office. Y'all some fucking cunts is what it is. You've seen the same struggles, the same shortcomings of this team for 3 years. 3 years, and you have done nothing about it. You sit up there with your smug Eastern European ass talking about, oh, I feel like Bulls fans are going to be very surprised by what we do in the offseason. You ain't do shit. And when I can take the team losing. I deal with that. It's okay. I'm a Bulls fan, a Bears fan, and a White Sox fans. I can take losing. Losing is what it is, right? I don't have a personal attachment to that. But when you can't play with a shred of heart, when you sit out there and look like you a goddamn dummy and y'all cool with it, like y'all got beat by Joe Ingles. He cooked y'all today and smiled in your face and pointed at your bench, and everybody just looked and said, oh, ho hum, we're happy to get our checks. What are we doing? There's no reason why Al Bundy should get off the bench and play with more heart than the young players that we have on this team. Outside again of Javonte Green and Ayo Dosunmu, they played with heart throughout the whole game. Kobe picked up heart at some point in time. Again, Kobe White's biggest flaws is his inconsistency, and that's going to be something that continues to hold him back. But what are we doing? And this is the team that you're competing and fighting. And this is why when people say, we can't let DeMar DeRozan go, we must hold on to DeMar DeRozan. Let me gobble DeMar DeRozan's balls. We can't let him go. Why? Because of what? So we can struggle for a 9th seed? Let this team bottom out and be bad. You don't even have to go full rebuild to do that. Let's stop. And that's what I need fans to realize. If you're tired of mediocrity, but you sit there and say, oh, we absolutely can't lose DeMar, we can't lose Andre Drummond, then you're just as bad as AK. You have no room at that point in time to sit back and talk about the mediocrity of this team. If you look at the situation and say, oh, there's no way we cannot possibly lose DeMar. If we lose DeMar, oh my God, what are we going to do? This is why Mark K. ass ain't fucking podcasting no more. Because what the fuck are you talking about? You can't complain about mediocrity and then want to hold on to things that are going to keep us mediocre. You know what you have to do to stop being mediocre? You either have to be bad enough for long enough to improve your team, or you have to get better through the progression of your young players or sign better players. For the people that sit there and look at this and say, boom, the Bulls are mediocre, let's keep DeMar DeRozan. Why? Like, what are y'all talking about? Everybody, y'all are, like I said, just as bad as AK and Eversley leading this front office. The fan base, I get it. I don't want to lose. I don't want to go through another 25-win season. I've been there, done that. That shit sucked, right? This shit sucked. But you know what is worse? Imagine going through this for 5 more years. Imagine staying mediocre for 5 more years while you see every other team in the NBA rise and fall again. And at least we can say we didn't fail, but shit, we've stayed mediocre. Here we go. We're competing for a 9th or 7th seed for the next 5 years. What is that? What is that? Ask yourself that question when you sit there and you say things like, we can't possibly let go of DeMar DeRozan. And don't get me started on the crooked hairline, bubblegum chewing motherfucker on the sideline that's supposed to be motherfucking coaching our team. Everything with this team right now is in mediocrity, and it sucks. It really does suck. And yeah, this team is going to win some games where we sit there and we look at it and we're like, yeah, this is the Chicago Bulls. We're winning games. But then it's always going to be another sock in the chest or in the face because this team can't sustain it, because you know why? We have no fucking identity. None. We don't have it. And that's what it comes down to. Yet again, this team is in a place that you don't want to be as a franchise in sports. And that is mediocre with the fear of getting worse to eventually get better. That's the thing. I can deal with being mediocre if we had vision. I can deal with being mediocre if we were mediocre because we had young players that just were waiting to get over the hump. Guess what? Those young players are over the hump. Ayo Dosunmu is legit. Kobe White is inconsistent but legit. What are we doing? This is what we have to look forward to until this front office is willing to make the find tough answers to the tough questions. And as long as that stays around and we keep the status quo, and part of that is Billy Donovan as well, we're going to be in the same spot year after year, month after month, offseason after offseason, draft after draft. It's going to be the same shit. And until this front office is ready to make a move, and I get it, you made your move to try to bring Vooch in. You made your move to bring DeMar here. You made your move for Lonzo Ball. The thing that you got out of those trades is an old man, one shaggy ass knee, and another old man that can still perform, but again, it's artificially keeping your team afloat. We need better. We deserve better as Chicago Bulls fans. We deserve that. Something got to give. Something has to give. I'm tired. And I'm frustrated. And this has been a long ass season. We got 4 games left on the season. And the Bulls have just now locked themselves into meaning they are going to have another below 500 season. That's what we're seeing. That's what's going to happen. That's what's evident. That's what they're telling you. And this front office is sitting there telling you we're okay with that. By the actions that the front office has made, they look at this team and they've said we are perfectly okay with where we've been. Our record has gotten worse every single year since we traded for Nikola Vucevic. Every single year. It got initially better after signing Lonzo, DeMar, and AC, and it's been getting worse every single year after that. every year. And you look at that and tell us that that's being competitive? That's being competitive? Where? Tell me where. Tell me where, please. I'm waiting. Man, it is what it is, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the comments, man. Let's see how you guys are feeling. JK says, I hope they lose every single game left. Wouldn't surprise me. They'll probably win it. In the classic Bulls fashion, DeMar get hit from the right, and we decided let's stop doing that now that we're back in this game. If Billy can bench Levine, why can't he do that with Vooch shit? Is that your starting series? Always getting out muscled and out hustled. I won't say he always gets out muscled, but hey, listen, I can't ignore you on that one. Nobody else stepped up. They all watched DeMar. No movement. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because Zach is the scapegoat. Zach ain't the scapegoat. To be a scapegoat, it means that you don't have to be part of the problem. Zach LaVine is absolutely part of the problem. Zach isn't a scapegoat. Please look up the definition of scapegoat. Just popped in to call Vooch a scrub. You ain't even have to do that, bro, because guess what? Vooch's play called him a scrub. Vooch is a porch. It's been time to take old yellow behind Husey and put him out of his misery. Unfortunately, you can't necessarily do that. That's called murder, my guy. I understand not having an offense, having an offensively and sometimes being a little bit inconsistent because offense comes and goes. But just give effort every single night. You can put yourself in a place to win. I mean, they gave effort. They gave effort tonight in turning the damn ball over to the other team. That's where they gave a ton of effort. They had A+ effort on giving the ball to the other team. That's for sure. Me neither. I'm not surprised nor mad. Let's just get to the offseason and begin doing a complete remodel and renovation of this roster. Well, that's not going to happen. It's going to be slight. It's going to be over times, man. That's the thing of it. I don't even know if they are willing to do that right now. I can't see the Bulls going guard, not just because of Vooch, but because Drum isn't coming back and we have no backup. I feel you. That makes sense. But the thing is, do we trust this front office to do something that's sensible? Do we trust that? Like, do we trust that? Vooch's cheeks now. He declined to have a seasoned player mode. Yeah, man, it's there. There is crazy. And there you have it. The Bulls can be Mo Cheeks. That's funny. I'd rather have Boogie. Well, no, I'll tell you what. Boogie Cousins is cooked chicken as well. Not good because Zach Edey would start off his career where Vooch is defensively. Let me just put that into perspective. NBA defense wise, Zach Edey would be starting his career where Vooch is ending it. No Zach Edey in the draft. No, thank you. No, thank you on that one. No, thank you on that one. Peter Anglor, I agree with Khalil Ware. Khalil Ware could be a nice pick for the Bulls. It depends on where things fall, right? Oh, but no wonder they got rid of Nikola V from the Magic. I wish we were able to get rid of him like the Magic did. Well, no, he was still an all-star when the Magic didn't get rid of him because he was bad. The Magic got rid of him so they can go younger. And that's what they wanted to increase. Again, they were willing to do what the Bulls aren't willing to do now. They were willing to take a step back for a few years to take the longer, more sensible step forward long term. That's what they were able to do. Lord Petty definitely going in. Was I listen, and Petty has surfaced. That's crazy. I'm sorry, I can't take the fact Vooch is so sadly terrible on defense. We got to stop saying, yeah, that's just Vooch being Vooch. He's terrible even on offense. What's the point? What's his point out there? Yeah, I mean, listen, at this point, yeah, I agree with you. Before this season, he still was what he needed to be to a degree offensively. Still had some rough patches for sure. Still took too many threes, but at this point, it's done, man. It's done. Hello at the Al Bundy comp insert. I understood that reference meme. That's hilarious. Billy Donovan is garbage. He's the reason the Bulls can't go no further. He don't know how to use his bench. Kobe White is a bust. He's not consistent. I'm sorry. That's where you start. When you start using words like somebody's a bust, he's not a bust. He's inconsistent as hell, and he has been even worse since his injury. He's not a bust. He's far from a bust. That's just not accurate. When Drummond came in, we were down 20, and when he got tired, it was a 7-point game. Yeah, but let's not. First of all, let's put that in perspective. It got to 7 point, not because Drummond was in the game, because we stopped turning the ball over. That was the biggest thing. Yes, when Vooch was in, it was bad, but let's be clear here. When you have DeMar DeRozan having 5 turnovers out of 13, you can't put that all on Nikola Vucevic. We were giving the ball up. So, yeah, we got the lead down to 7, but we got that partially down to the fact that we stopped turning the ball over for that stretch of time. And then the lead went right back up. So, It's you can't use not in this game. You can't use the whole when Vooch did this, Vooch no, because it was bad. They were both bad tonight, both overall bad tonight. Haize, Vooch is a cancer. No, he's not a cancer. He's just bad. Cancer would be that he's actively making players worse, and he doesn't do that. So no, he's not a cancer. Is it me or do players seem like they don't like? No, people they like Vooch. So they all like Vooch. They all like Vooch as a person. So no, Vooch is not a cancer. That's not. He's bad, but he's not a cancer. Literally, bro, we're not even competitive. We're having DeMar. I don't understand the attachment Bulls have for him. Listen, I get it, and I get it. We've been so straved for success that I think Bulls fans hold on to something that's just, it is what it is, man. We'd rather be middle of the pack than bottom all the way out. Agreed. Yeah, it's crazy. I agree. We can't keep DeRozan because of the fact we ain't got no money. No, we got enough money. See, that's another misconception people have. We have money to keep them. It's that we don't have money to add outside of that. We can re-sign DeMar and re-sign Patrick Williams and still be well under the luxury tax. It's just that you can't really do anything other than vet minimums after that point. So it's not the money isn't the aspect there. Yet another L. Acme can add to the resume during their tenure with the Bulls, giving Vooch a guaranteed $60 million 3 years. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The Bulls don't know how to tank properly. Well, we're not trying to tank. That's the thing. We're not tanking. We had Jordan, got lucky with Rose, and yeah, everything else has been whack. Well, yeah, we haven't truly tried to tank. The closest that this Bulls team has been to tanking would be the years that we had number 7 picks in a row, right? That's the closest. We haven't truly ever really been a team to truly tank. We haven't been that, and maybe that's something that people can point to. Haize, I'm telling you, Vooch, Kobe, and Levine, not it. Get rid of them in a whole different team. Yeah, no, that's stupid. Sorry. I mean, I don't mean to be frank. I'm not necessarily calling you stupid, but that's stupid, especially throwing Kobe in there. It's stupid. But yeah. This is one of those rants that's going to make you have Viagra. You going hard on the go in, but what? What were you trying to say Viagra? Why would I need Viagra for go? What do you spell it right? First of all, DJ Reese B. What are we talking about, man? Just let Sanogo play these last games since it's at the end of the season. I know Billy B too scared to play his new guys, but we need size. Bad. I'm gonna keep saying that. Yeah, you can keep saying it, but at some point you gotta stop saying something that you know is not gonna happen. Like, I agree. Jerome, Kobe, inconsistent. You almost should start IO when AC come back and keep Green in the lineup. Y'all are so reactionary. It's almost worse than the front office, to be honest with you. Tonight was clear evidence why Drummond hasn't been a starting center in 5 years since he was. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I get it. Vooch is bad. And Drummond comes in and he does the things that Vooch doesn't do so much better than Vooch that it's like Vooch. I mean, sorry, Drum has some games where he looks really, really good. Make no mistake about it. But let's not act like Vooch, like Drum doesn't sometimes get absolutely cooking pick and roll defense for sure. Absolutely, he looks bad in that. Kobe is a bust as wild. Damn, he in his feelings like he just left the first Diddy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. As I can't believe I'm saying this, but we most definitely need a defensive center. I know people want scoring, but at the end of the day, I feel like defense could make us want scoring. Shay, why would you already know I'm pissed off, bro? Why can't you spell correctly and make us go much further? Yeah, we do definitely need a defensive center. Definitely. Just admitted the Bulls front office stink. They made choices when giving up all the great talent for all the great talent. Come on, bro. Y'all got to stop it. Great talent. I'm sorry. Wendell Carter is not a great talent. He's not a great talent. And the Bulls wouldn't have, yes, we traded the pick. We wouldn't have drafted Franz Wagner. He wouldn't have even been on this team. We didn't technically give up Franz Wagner. We gave up the draft pick that became it. Wendell Carter is not a great talent. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to stop. Wendell Carter is not a great talent. We just weak at the 4 at the moment. People defense would have made a difference. So yeah, but it wouldn't have won us the game. It wouldn't have won us the game at all. That wouldn't have changed. It wouldn't have stopped DeMar DeRozan from turning the ball over 5 times. Wouldn't stop the 21 turnovers as a team. Wouldn't have stopped the bad 3-point defense all around. It wouldn't have stopped all that. Hayes, you said Vooch is going nowhere, but with the way he's playing, the front office needs to address. Yeah, you address that by drafting a center, but you're not going to like. Why? I'm not saying this is what you think, Migs, because you've talked before, but like people think that it's like, oh, you're playing bad, let's trade him. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Hayes, are you going to make any video? Yeah, bro, come on now. DJ Reesby, don't act like you knew around here. Yeah, I have the deepest draft coverage of any Chicago Bulls channel, brother. So yeah, definitely. Wait. Hayes, Hulu Squad need help. The D. First of all, no Diddy. I need you to say no Diddy after that, my brother. What needs help? The D. That's crazy. My D don't need no help, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bro, I just want competency, not to have a trash ass center, bro. I feel like rational Bulls fans aren't even asking for much. Rational Bulls fans aren't. That's for sure. Haha, people act like the Bulls wouldn't have taken that pick and drafted the 6'6" leaky wing who would have a. You know what? Let me go back to that draft. I can guarantee you I can go back to that draft and tell you exactly who the Bulls probably would have drafted in there. Let's see how that draft shook out, if I can still even pull that up. Draft. Actual drafts. Did they take away the actual drafts? Come on. All right, let's go back to that year. That would have been 2022, 21 draft. 21 was the no. Yeah, it was a 21 draft. Let's see. So Franz Wagner. Oh, I can tell you right now who the Bulls would have drafted. The Bulls would have drafted Zaire Williams. That's our book night. That's probably who the Bulls would have drafted at that pick. Zaire Williams, who wouldn't have necessarily been a terrible pick, but that's who the Bulls probably would have drafted at that draft. 6'9", 190 pounds, 7'1" wingspan. Zaire Williams probably would have been the pick there, guys. Probably would have been the pick. Franz Wagner, I don't know if that would have been the pick. Zaire Williams probably would have been the pick there for the Chicago Bulls. So you let me know how you guys feel about that. We would have had Wendell Carter and Zaire Williams. That's who we would have had. Let's see. Zaire Williams this season, averaging 8.2 points per game on 39% shooting from the field, 30% shooting from three-point range, 3.5 rebounds. Yep, that's who we would have drafted. That's absolutely who we would have drafted. If the Bulls luck into a higher draft pick this year, given the weaknesses of the draft, they should trade back to get rid of Vooch. No, this isn't the NFL. You're not going to trade back and get rid of still because players still got to absorb that. So you're not going to trade back, and even with the weakness of the draft, I wouldn't see that. We're never going to get anywhere with both of these players, and Billy's season over this year, next year, as many years to come. No, you can get somewhere with a lot of these players. You just have to build the roster correctly. Bulls definitely would have. I don't think they would have went Primo. Where did Primo get drafted? What selection did Primo get drafted at in that draft? Let's see. Oh, Primo could have been there. 6'5". I think Zaire Williams would have fit that. Primo only 6'5", 6'7" wingspan. No. I think Zaire Williams 6'9", 7'1" wingspan. That's an AK guy. Just saying we would have had Wendell is already a no for me. We really high on Zaire. We think he can be special. We didn't think he would be there on our draft. We're really surprised he fell to us there at number 10. We didn't expect him. We thought he really was a top 5 type talent in this draft. We really are happy with having him. Oh, absolutely, bro. Oh, then they would have been like, oh, so we feel like we've drafted a modern day front court because we're going to have Patrick Williams and Zaire Williams as very switchable two-way players out there on that wing and power forward position. We feel really confident in how you add that to Zach LaVine and how he scores out there on the wing. It writes itself. You know exactly what they said. It writes itself. It's crazy. Melvin, how many times are you going to leave the same comment, bro? Like, Melvin, you just added an emoji. You've been leaving the same comment since 5 minutes into the stream. We're not 29 minutes in. You haven't thought of a new thought since then, Melvin? The same comment. I gotta throw Melvin some shit. Did you see the update on P. Will? I wouldn't call it an update, but so Casey Johnson did say that it's not looking good for P. Will. So we'll see. We went with Zaire because he has length and has so much potential. Really think he help us be competitive. That's crazy. Hayes, you're all over the place with Vooch. Guy literally sucks in. He does not suck the energy out the team. That's just not accurate. just not accurate. And no, I've been very consistent. It's not all over the place with him. It's just y'all act like it has to be, oh, it's either all bad or it's all good. And the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Melvin, serious, like Melvin be trying to see the damn yams on the, he wants to see him on an NBA team. I understand that, bro. I understand that we all like yams, bro. But come on, man. Come on. By the way, did y'all see that Megan Thee Stallion? Did y'all see that Megan? Did y'all see the Megan Thee Stallion video? I'm gonna leave that there. That's it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm just leave it there and leave that where it is. AK is like, wait until you guys see what I bring in during the offseason. Like, we're getting some amazing surprise. Garden Gnome Carter. That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like the Bulls be competing for the 7th pick and lower every year. That's funny. It looked like stale. It looks stale tonight. We need some hustle out there. I wish they would move around instead of 4 standing on the perimeter. Bro, you're literally what I say all the time, bro. All the time, man. And with our dumbass luck, we still would have signed Javon Ballhead ass. That's funny. Oh man. Man, I know in the still mad after that video. I don't think Vooch is a positive or negative on team morale. Friendship, I always found him to be relatively neutral and ambivalent. I agree with that. But in all seriousness, if this front office drafts another wing, I'm going to lose it. Be prepared to lose it, brother. The biggest issue with this team is that it was built like Jenga tower. As pieces fell out, they had no way out of it without knocking the tower down. Well, the problem is, it's not just that the pieces fell. The pieces got obliterated. Lonzo Ball is walking around right now with a dead man's knee in his knee. I don't think that we kind of fully grasp how serious that is. He's walking around with a dead man's knee inside of his knee. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And then we wonder why it's doubtful he's gonna make a serious return back. No, Meg was throwing that thing back like LeBron old hairline shit, had JDH ready to take a car. Oh, bro, JDH definitely licked his phone while watching that video. He definitely licked his phone while watching that video. Definitely. Do you think the Bulls should draft the UConn center? UConn center? I wouldn't be mad at it, but I think there are centers that kind of better fit where the team is going, right? Here's what I'll compare it to, right? So somebody please, if you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the chat. So if you draft Donovan Clingan, what that does is he can come in and theoretically do a lot of what Nikola Vucevic does, but better. If you go a different, like a Khalil Ware, a Kyle Filipowski, they can play faster with where it seems like this roster wants to play at. So if you want to, maybe that's what AK wants to do. If AK really wants to keep the same thing going, right, with a younger version, basically of Vooch. I don't know that's a kind of an overstatement. I'm not saying that he's Vooch 1-for-1. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if you want to change your play style overall to where it's more modern, you go a different center. If you want to keep what you have going on right now, but with a better version of Vooch with some differences, then you go Donovan Clingan. So it's not that Clingan is a bad choice. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't mistake me for what I'm saying there. In no way am I saying Clingan's a bad choice. I'm just saying that he brings similar things to what Vooch does. He's better defensively for sure. Make no mistake about it. You don't average 2 blocks per game for your career and not be better, but he's not a great rebounder. He's not an amazing passer. He's not a good shooter. So it really would be somebody bringing what Vooch does or what we would want to see Vooch, because Clingan isn't going to go out to the 3-point line. He's going to stay down there. He's going to block some shots. He's going to score, have some back to the basket moves, but it's not really going fully modern. While the other players don't necessarily have the shot blocking prowess that Clingan does, they still have enough of it while being able to get out in transition, while being kind of better passers, and can still develop a shot. So that's kind of the thought process behind Clingan if he's the pick there, in my opinion. So let's see what else we got. At this point, we should really care about the play in or pack it up and get ready for next season. I mean, listen, like I've told you guys before, I'm never going to root against my team or root for my team to lose. So I want them to keep winning. I mean, whatever that is going to take shape and look like. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. Can we send Javon Carter back to college? Him and Bronny basically have the same stat line. Well, no, see, the difference is Javon Carter would absolutely cook Bronny James. That's there. No, Klingon's definitely falling. Klingon is probably going to go between 12 and 14. He's not going to be drafted in the top 10. You know it's bad when a dead man's knee is an improvement over your own knee. Facts. That's all I can say on that one. Facts. Yeah, they are, but that doesn't make a good basketball player. Kofi Coburn had better per 36 minutes. That doesn't mean that you're going to get drafted, bro. That's all I'm saying. I mean, he's going to get drafted, but he's not going to go in the top 10. The Bulls need to focus on having a starting lineup built around speed. DeMar and Vooch hurt Ayo and Kobe's game because they are way too slow in the half court. I mean, in that sense, right, if you're talking about specifically as far as playing faster and with quicker pace, yeah, they definitely hurt that. And I think DeMar not as much because DeMar kind of can lead the break that with his passing, but yeah, man, it becomes a problem there. Just mad she need to go into the Chicago Bulls locker room and give them some energy. That's crazy. That's crazy. If Holland falls to 12, Bulls are unfortunately probably going to take. I don't think so. I don't think that. I get why you're saying that. I don't think that. If Acme does draft another wing or guard, is Pezzi Roosevelt coming out? It depends on who it is. Because I'll tell you what, if it's Terrence Shannon Jr., no. Because to me, Terrence Shannon Jr. is a player that can step in, and I think he can play on that wing. You can have Kobe, you can have Ayo as your backcourt. So I'm not necessarily mad at that. I'm then saying, all right, you guys got to do something else, but I'm not necessarily mad. It depends on what. If it's another one of these high upside, raw guys who has no real, one skill right now, like Terrence Shannon Jr. has a NBA skill right away. That's scoring the goddamn basketball, right? So it really depends on those type of things. Like who is it? His teammate Isaiah Collar will go top 10 if he declares for the draft. Probably. Tyler Smith from the G League Ignite. Tyler Smith is cool, but I see him more as a long-term 4 than a 5. But he can fill out. Maybe he is 6'11", I think like 220 pounds right now. The problem with Tyler Smith is that I know this is going to trigger some people. Tyler Smith has the potential to either be who's I don't want to go like super high upside. Like Tyler Smith could be maybe like a power forward version of like a mixture between Franz and Mo Wagner, or he could be Tyrese Thomas. Yeah. Maybe Bobby Portis is a good comp for Tyler Smith and like the raw athleticism part of it, but he has the potential to also be Tyrese Thomas. Yeah. So ask yourself, do you want to take that shot? But it's not that I don't like Tyler Smith. I like him though. Are you confident on the Bulls top 10 pick? I mean, I the way that they've drafted, I can't have complete confidence. I do have confidence that there will be some really good talent there. I'm not necessarily as confident in them being the ones to select it, right? So there's that part of it. Are they thinking P. Will won't be able to play next season? If that's the case, do you think they won't resign? Oh, no, I don't think it's that bad at all. I wouldn't get anyone from G League Ignite given the history of players drafted from that. I mean, what the history of the players drafted in that isn't extremely bad. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. So Scoot Henderson turning it around a little bit. Jaden Hardy, Matthias Buzelis, maybe it's not as good. Well, Marjon Beauchamp is okay. Isaiah Todd I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Do an update on Julian Phillips' foot. I don't have any update on Julian Phillips. Not that I've seen yet. I feel like we deserve to be in the play-in, but maybe we do a miracle. I mean, listen, it's the play-in. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. At this point, I don't give a shit. I really don't. Nicholas says making a decision pertaining to our 5 position is crucial. Perhaps pivoting towards a defensive minded center could produce a mind shift in the front office to rework the roster. Just make a decision. It could be. I feel like in a way we may be stuck, and we would have to bring back DeMar to be our veteran presence closer. With that, no, again, like I said, fuck the closing. Let the players figure out how to close. And if they don't, then here's the thing, right? And this is going to be the last thing before I end this, right? Is that if you let DeMar DeRozan walk, and let's say you're then saying Io, Kobe, P. Will, our new draft pick, Ernalot Bateem, you guys need to figure out how to close games. It's going to suck to start the season, but then you hope it's going to get better as the season goes. And then if you do, you've now said, hey, now we see what these players are. If it does not work out, let's say that none of these players learn how to be a closer. You then look at it and say, none of these motherfuckers know how to close. But then you probably will have a top 10 pick, and you can keep your 2025 pick that's going to go to the Spurs if it's not in the top 10. There's nothing but benefit if you let DeMar DeRozan walk, in the sense of taking a step back to take a longer term step forward. And that's what this front office is terrified to do. Terrified to do. K-Trip says, fit is cold. The Bulls need to go young. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. A silver lining is getting rid of the G League Unite. Players can continue to get paid on college, so the team is useless. The Bulls need more than speed to win. I need talented players who can play on both ends. So you like going two ways? Is what you're saying there, Black Prophet? That's cool. Never realized how much foot injuries suck until this year. They take so long to heal. Like really? Oh, facts. And especially you got to keep in mind these humans are freaks. Whoa, that was a Diddy moment. But yeah, you're talking about people who are 6'10", 6'7", right? Like humans aren't supposed to be that tall. So like it's even worse. Even worse. But all right, y'all. That's it, man. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up the stream. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for everything that you mean, that you do here, man. I appreciate you guys. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys so much, man. Make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag episodes, the number to do so is 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, man, go Bulls. See red if you can, y'all. Love you guys, man. Peace.